225 homes closed in Franklin in June. That is not a typo. In the middle of summer, when most markets pump the brakes, Franklin went in the other direction. And that story behind that number is the one that every buyer and seller in this market needs to understand. Let's get into it. Quick note before we dive in, if Franklin is on your radar for buying or selling, I work this market every month and I'd love to be a resource for you. Drop a comment, send a message, or hit the link in the description to connect directly. No pressure, just a real conversation. All right, let's look at what June showed us. So let's set the stage. 225 closings in June in Franklin. That's up from 183 in May, and it puts June firmly in the category of one of Franklin's strongest months of the entire year. The market didn't take a summer vacation. Buyers were active, deals were closing, and the inventory that hit the market found willing buyers fast. The typical home that closed in June was around 3,300 square feet, 4 beds, 3 baths, and 1 half bath, built around 1998. That's the established Franklin family home profile. The kind of property that buyers relocating from higher cost of living markets are seeking specifically, in June showed that the demand for that home is very much alive. For the first thing that jumps off the page is volume. 183 closings in May to 225 in June. That's a 23% increase in a single month. Buyers didn't slow down heading to the summer, they accelerated. That kind of volume surge in June tells you demand in Franklin is genuine and broad-based. And it's not a handful of luxury sales driving the number. It's the full market firing on all cylinders. Prices were largely consistent month over month with a modest uptick at the average. The average sales price moved from about $1.38 million in May to about $1.41 million in June. The median came in at just over $1 million, just slightly below May's $1.1 million. What that tells you is the core of the Franklin market, the homes most buyers are actually competing for, held steady. No dramatic swings in either direction, just a stable, healthy price environment with a slight upward lean. Price per square foot ticked up from $400 in May to $410 in June. That's a quiet but meaningful signal. Buyers are paying more per square foot month over month, which reflects both confidence in the market and the quality of what was available in June. So here's the home size portfolio. The home profile was nearly identical month over month. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, just over 3,300 square feet. That consistency is actually a good sign. It means the same type of buyer is active in June as in May, and the inventory serving them is similar. Franklin's sweet spot hasn't shifted. It's a well-located 4-bedroom family home in an established neighborhood, and that product continues to move. Here's the number that really stands out to me in the month-over-month comparison. Days on market dropped from 10 days in May to 7 days in June. The market actually got faster heading into summer. 7 days means the typical Franklin home is going under contract in 1 week. That is an urgent market. If you're a buyer and you find something you love on a Saturday, you may be writing an offer by Wednesday or it's gone. There's no room for extended deliberation here. The sale to list ratio improved from May to June from 98.67% to 99.34%. Sellers in Franklin in June were getting within 2/3% of their asking price at the median. That is about as close to full ask as you can get in a functioning market. Buyers are not negotiating Franklin sellers down. They're paying the price, sometimes over it. And we had a max of 108% this month, meaning someone paid nearly 9% over asking on one property. Comparing the June 2026 to May 2025, the closest year-over-year reference we have, volume is up 17%, 192 closings a year ago versus 225 this June. More transactions, more buyers, more market activity. Franklin's appeal isn't fading, it's growing. Average sales price is up year over year from about $1.37 million to about $1.41 million. The median is essentially flat at just over $1 million for both periods. What that tells you is the core Franklin market has held its value reliably over the past 12 months while upper end has appreciated. That's a healthy, balanced picture. Not a market being propped up by outlier sales, but a market with broad-based stability and upward movement at the top. Price per square foot actually came down slightly year over year from $417 to $410. Now that might sound like prices dropped, but here's the nuance. The homes selling in June 2026 are slightly larger on average than what was sold a year ago, which naturally brings the per square foot number down even if overall values are stable. For buyers, this means you're getting slightly more square footage per dollar today than you were 12 months ago. That's a good thing. Days on market is identical year over year, 7 days at the median for both periods. Franklin has maintained the same rapid pace for a full year without slowing. That kind of consistency tells you this isn't a seasonal phenomenon. It's structural. The demand for Franklin real estate at this pace is real and durable. Sales to list ratio is virtually identical year over year, 99.48% a year ago versus 99.34% now. Sellers are consistently walking away with essentially their full asking price in Franklin. That hasn't changed. What has changed is the number of transactions happening at that level, and that number is up. I'm going to be straightforward with you as a buyer. 7 days to contract is not a forgiving environment. By the time you decide you love something, schedule a second showing, run the numbers, and circle back, it's gone. The buyers winning in Franklin right now are the ones who have done the work before they ever walk in the door. Financing sorted, priorities are clear, a clear sense of which neighborhoods fit their life, and someone in their corner can move fast. The good news is you're buying into one of the most reliable real estate markets in Middle Tennessee. Franklin's fundamentals, the downtown, the schools, the lifestyle, the proximity to Nashville, those don't go away. At $410 per square foot, you're paying a premium over Fairview, but you're buying into something with a long track record of holding and growing its value. Buyers who haven't been patient and strategic have consistently been rewarded here. If you're thinking about selling in Franklin, for the sellers, June handed you about as clean a data set as you could ask for. 225 closings in a single month. Homes going under contract in a week. Sellers getting 99% of asking price. The demand in Franklin right now is as strong as I've seen it this year. What I'd tell you is this: don't let strong market conditions make you complacent about preparation. Franklin buyers at this price point have seen a lot of homes. They're comparing yours to 3 or 4 others in the same price range, and they know what a good one looks like. Overpricing by even 5% can take you from a 7-day sale to a 60-day listing that starts raising questions. Price it with precision, present it professionally, and the market will deliver. The demand is there. Your job is to make sure your home earns it. That's your Franklin market update for June of 2026. 225 closings, 7-day median, values holding strong year over year, and this market is performing at a really high level, and the data tells a story clearly. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. I do these every single month for Franklin, Brentwood, and Fairview, and most of Williamson County. And if you're ready to have a real conversation about your next move, reach out. Link in the description. I'd love to help you figure out your timing and your strategy, whether that's buying, selling, or just understand where you stand right now. I'll see you next month.